Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's the SCB Steelers Podcast presented by DEK Roofing Incorporated of South Florida.
Of where?
I thought I'd give a dramatic pause there. Something a little different today.
That pregnant pause didn't work.
It never does.
Yeah.
What can I tell you? Just thought, maybe the people thought their podcasting thing dropped off or something. It's a pretty horrible start to this show, but I don't give a shit.
Hell, dude?
Anyway, welcome back, everybody. The off season is well underway for us, and of course, we are now down to the final two. The Bungles and the Rams will play in Super Bowl 56 coming up in about 9 or 10 days. We'll talk about that briefly next week, but you're here to talk Steelers, and that's what we're here for. In any case, Ian, Ben, and Ryan are all back with me. Gentlemen, I hope you are all well. I've got the classic winter stuffiness going on now, and it seems like everybody else has that or COVID.
Probably got the COVID.
Probably. I would probably test, and it'll say positive, and I'll go, what? I don't even feel anything, but and we all have our beverages, of course, this evening, too. So cheers to everyone out there and enjoy the show. A couple of things real quick before we talk tonight almost exclusively about free agents with the Steelers. We're going to cover all of the unrestricted guys, the restricted guys, the exclusive rights guys. We're going to, every one of them. And also, are they coming or, are they staying or are they going? But just a couple of real quick things. The Senior Bowl practices are underway down in Mobile, Alabama. And just, quick shout out to the guys, Zach and Nick and Alan doing a super job down there, and along with several other guys. They really do some good work, just giving their observations via social media and stuff. But I'm just going to put this out there, and then Ben, I'll let you attack it first because I know that's what you want to do. But
okay,
Mike Tomlin apparently has a love affair with Malik Willis, the quarterback of Liberty. Please just set everybody at ease, will you?
Set everybody at ease.
Well, explain exactly what.
Maybe he does, and maybe he doesn't.
Right.
Okay. The Steelers give off a lot of misinformation this time of year purposely.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be that, and it could be Rashaan Evans all over again. From the jump, he was all over Rashaan Evans and wanted him, and he really did want him, and couldn't get him. The Titans took him, but we ended up with Terrell Edmonds, who everyone loves. And actually, honestly, I think they should re-sign him, but that's later on in the show.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But yeah, it could be legitimate, and it might not be. Personally, looking at Willis, I see a guy who's got a lot of athletic ability. He's got a cannon for an arm. He makes some suspect decisions, and his accuracy is suspect. So I'm not real high on him, at least not as a first rounder.
No, and that's where I'm at too. But you did what I thought you would do, and it's just throw that cautionary tale out there that the Steelers are masters of both information
lying
and misinformation when it comes to the draft. Ian, you've had a chance to look at these quarterbacks a little bit. I guess if anybody's had a good week so far, find me the person that has, because every single quarterback down there, it's been up and down over the first couple of days. But, what are you seeing? What are you hearing?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I think, the weather conditions the last day or so haven't been as good as they were the first day.
Right.
But Willis struggled a little bit the first day, and then, he just came out and straight up admitted, he was a little nervous the first day, but he calmed down the second day and things kind of started to slow down a little bit for him. And Willis was the most impressive one the second day. So, I think it goes on the whole of a lot of things we've been talking about for a while, that this is not a great quarterback class, right? There's no Trevor Lawrence in this class.
There's no close.
There's not even a Joe Burrow in this class.
No, there's not a Joe Burrow in this class. There's not. Trying to think through the quarterbacks from last year. Maybe there's one better than Mac Jones, but I don't know if any of the quarterbacks this year are better than the top 4 quarterbacks from last
I don't know
year.
about that one either.
Yeah.
So
Jones has been pretty efficient.
Yeah. In the quarterbacks this year, they have their strengths and their weaknesses. I think Willis probably has the most upside of the group.
Oh yeah.
I think Kenny Pickett probably has the highest floor. Like he's probably the most ready to come in immediately and play. But I also wouldn't necessarily trust him in the long term. But I think Willis is the most boomer bust kind of player that there is. And, I think the best summation, I've heard this before for players, but it really seems to stick out for Willis is his game has a lot of wow and a lot of what in it.
Yeah.
That,
That's good.
I like that.
That's a good one.
You're
really swinging for the fences if you take that guy.
Yeah.
You absolutely are. You're looking for that boom, but you might strike out.
Yeah, he's, and we'll talk a lot more about him as we get closer to the draft. But he's a guy that I believe started at Auburn, couldn't get on the field ahead of Patrick Nix, and went over to Liberty, and had a very nice career over there, obviously. Yeah. But Ryan, first of all, the Steelers sent literally a busload of officials down there to Mobile,
as they should.
Yeah, I mean, but it's not just Tomlin, Colbert, few scouts. I mean, you got Canada's down there, Mike Sullivan's down there, Art Rooney too's down there. In your experience, is this a little more than usual, or is this normal?
Yeah, I tend not to get too high or low during this time of year. Whether that's when I work there or whether that's just casually as a fan now, because there's a lot of, there's a lot of information out there, whether that's coming from the team or coming from someone that's just watching practices. Either way, the easiest way I can sort of describe it is that they're just doing their due diligence, right? During the season, Coach Tomlin doesn't really get to, go to, events or go to college games like his player personnel department does. So a lot of times these are sort of the first opportunities where coach and company are getting to see these guys play in person or practice in person. It's the first time they're getting an opportunity to talk to them in person. So watching college tape is one thing, but actually, talking to them on the field, seeing how they react to obviously different types of conditions that we saw this week. So Kevin Colbert always uses the term process. I just think this is just part of that process. And, if you're asking why there's sort of, so many Steelers components that are there, I just think this is a team that has a lot of needs in a lot of different areas. And I think the more the merrier down there to sort of, watch, analyze, talk, and repeat. I think that can only help this franchise because, Art said that they don't want to rebuild. So having, more people there can only help.
Yeah, no,
I'll add one thing on that too, that this is a year where we need a quarterback, and a quarterback is a franchise-altering decision. And this is a unique year that arguably 6 of the top 7 quarterbacks in the draft are in Mobile for the Senior Bowl. I mean, look back at last year's Senior Bowl. You had Kellen Mond, Kyle Trask, those were the top quarterbacks there. So last year's Senior Bowl didn't have a great quarterback class. This year, arguably, other than Matt Corral, who got hurt in his bowl game, all the other top flight quarterbacks in this draft are in Mobile. So it's a real bang for your buck opportunity that rather than going to 5 or 6 different pro days, you can send everyone to one place for 1 week and scout all these guys at once.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think what was the highest guy? Trask went late second, early third.
Mac Jones was there. I mean, he went in the first.
That's right. Yeah. Jones was there. That's right. Yeah. Totally forgot about him.
But other than him, last year's Senior Bowl wasn't a good quarterback scouting opportunity, whereas this year's certainly is.
And there are obviously a lot of other players there and some pretty decent talent. There's some wide receivers doing some nice things and some linebackers, of course, that we definitely need to pay attention to as well. So,
unfortunately,
one other league-wide thing, and I know everybody's aware of the lawsuit now that the former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores is bringing, and we're not going to spend any time on it. I think other than just to say, This isn't going to go very fast. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process. It's our court system. It's what we do anyway. But it's one of those things where it's going to be he said, assertions made, all that kind of stuff, and just something that we'll keep an eye on, because ultimately it does come back to the Rooney Rule a little bit, and discuss that will come up a lot, but we'll leave it at that. We want to talk Steelers free agencies, what we want to talk, and we batted around this today in our discussions, talking, positions, significance, all those different things.
Terrell Edmonds.
Yeah, and I'm fine. Let's start with Tyrell Edmonds, because, here's a guy, I don't think anybody had him predicted coming to the Steelers in the first round. It was completely a shocker to most. Anybody that says they knew they were going to draft him, they knew people that we don't know, that's for sure. So Ben, you're Mike Tomlin, you're Kevin Colbert right now. You bring Terrell Edmonds back. I
try, but I'm not paying him top tier for a safety. I'm not doing that, but I would like to bring him back at a reasonable price. Where's the safety market now?
While you're looking that up, how many interceptions does he have in his career?
Like
not
3,
many.
4 maybe. It's 5. Not that many.
Yeah.
Top end of the safety market's 16, 17 million, which is what Minkah should get.
Minka's going to make.
Yeah, and Minka's going to be on his 5th-year option next year.
No, Jamal Adams at 17.5. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
that's what Minka's going to make.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although Adams is more of a linebacker than a safety.
He absolutely is a linebacker, and he's dramatically overpaid, in my opinion.
Yeah, they should. Justin Simmons was a little over 15, so that's what I was looking at. Was
Harrison Smith's at 16, so
yeah, you give Minkah around there, 16 and a half, we'll say. But Minka's due for an extension this year. Let's put it that way, right? Like this is the extend Minkah year.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I've never been a big fan of Edmonds. There's some other, I'll say, potentially decent options on the free agent market. I wouldn't sign Edmonds before free agency starts. I'd let him test the waters, see what he wants, see who else is out there, and then, see what happens. You leave, like they've done with other guys, right? You leave the door open, you say, hey, if the market isn't there for you, we're willing to sign you for this, but, see what you can get, and then maybe there's other guys out there.
Pay him somewhere in the Von Bell, Malcolm Jenkins, range, $6 to $8 million a year. Get him back into the fold, sign him to a long-term deal that's friendly, in terms of structure, and then move on to the next guy. He's not going to. I don't think he's going to make big money, but if I'm him, I'm trying to break the bank. By the same token, because this probably is his only chance at a big contract.
And it was really interesting when Mike Tomlin was asked about it at his final presser, and his first comment was, in terms of talking about Edmonds, was availability.
Yeah,
and you can't deny the guy has been durable.
He played 98% of the
year.
snaps this
year. Yeah.
And has he missed a game ever?
One. Yeah. Ryan, is that something that all of us as fans should put a hell of a lot more into, or is that just coach speak?
No. You got to. Being available. I would say showing up's half the job, but being available, only missing one game in your career, to me that's big. That's big. Iron Man. Right? Like the Iron. Not only availability, but I think familiarity is big in this Edmonds thing. He's been here since 2018 or 2019. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, 2018. Okay, so he was here a year without Minkah, but he's been here 3 years with Minkah. I think that the familiarity in the back end is very important. And Ian, to your point, I actually think that they should try to wrap him up before free agency starts if they can.
agree.
And I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that does happen. Mike Tomlin's very smart. He doesn't say things just to say things. So I do think him saying availability was very important. Yeah. I don't think you really had a bad season. And listen, this defense was not good.
No.
Minus probably the defensive player of the year and Cam Hayward and Minka, but this defense struggled a lot. They couldn't stop the run.
Yeah, but that's three guys.
They struggled. They struggled against the pass.
Big time.
And I would actually say besides Minka, TJ, and Cam, I think Terrell Edmonds is probably fourth or fifth best defensive player. So I think you want to keep that together. And
remember Joe Haden.
Yeah, well, Hayden will also be brought up. He's also an unrestricted free agent. Yeah. And I would also agree that they should get that done sooner rather than later. I don't know. He might be a little pricey, but I think that they should get Edmonds done sooner rather than later. I think he's a core component to that defense.
So let's go to Joe Haden right now. In the fall, Joe Haden, I believe, will be 33, 32. I can't remember if he's going to be 32 or 33, but either way, I'll be honest with you guys. I thought he lost a step.
Oh yeah.
If he were to take a real, and I hate the term hometown discount. I don't like it, but something along those lines.
He'll be 33.
Yeah,
and he's in decline. I wouldn't say that it's like terrible. He's so smart is the thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, but do you bring him back, Ben? I mean,
I try to, but I try to make it a decent price. I mean, corners are expensive, man.
Yes.
Low paid corners are $10 million a year. That's the problem. Yeah. Kendall Fuller makes $10 million a year. Wow. He's not a guy anymore. He's just some guy they plugged in outside. And Joe Haden, can probably demand more than that. And he may be looking to play with a team that can contend at the end of his career, given where the Steelers are at right now. So I don't know that he will necessarily return for those reasons. Yeah. That night, I mean, the Steelers need to get younger. They just do. And, if they can keep that guy around at a decent price to work with their younger players, then it's a value for them. It's good to do. But if it doesn't work from that standpoint, why bring him in?
Yeah, no, I get that. And talking about getting younger, Ian, if you had to choose between, let's say, Hayden and Ahkello Witherspoon, what do you do?
You took my comment right out of my mouth, was that I would take Witherspoon over Hayden, because, I mean, Hayden's going to be 33 in like 2 months in April. Witherspoon is going to be 27 in March. And corners tend to see a bit of a decline after their age 30 season. Yep. The other thing with Hayden too, we just talked about availability being a thing with Terrell Edmonds. I mean, Hayden missed 5 games last year, 2 games the year before. 2019, he played every game. 2018, he missed a couple games. 2017, he missed 5 games. So, signing Joe Haden, only twice in his career has he played all 16 games. So you're probably not going to get 16 or 17 games out of him in his age 33 season either, considering he hasn't played every game for all of his career. That said, Witherspoon had 3 interceptions in technically 9 games that he got a helmet, but really only like a handful that he actually played in. Yeah. He showed more ability to read routes and undercut balls than anybody we've had at corner in a while, like since good Joe Haden, right? That and even and I'm talking like Hayden's first or second year here,
right?
Witherspoon was actually out there undercutting routes and beating guys to the spot and getting. It wasn't just
he's a good boundary corner. We agree.
Yes.
It wasn't just 3 interceptions. It was 9 passes defended. I mean,
He did a great job this year.
Yeah.
When he finally got in. The issue was that he didn't play special teams, so he couldn't get a helmet when he was a backup.
Yeah. So I would rather take my chances with the younger guy in Witherspoon, and
that's good.
Who Witherspoon played 9 games and led
Johnny.
the team. Witherspoon played 9 games and led the team in passes defended, and led the team in interceptions. So, I mean, I think that just shows you the ability that he has. And corner is one of those weird positions where you're actually better off signing a free agent than you are drafting someone, because it takes college corners so long to develop into the NFL game. That I did an article on this, I think a year or 2 ago, that the stats prove it out, that you're more guys that are in second contracts make Pro Bowls and All Pros than do guys on their rookie contracts for cornerbacks. So for cornerbacks, it's like the only position where you're better off signing a veteran than you are drafting someone, because a young guy probably isn't going to help.
Ryan, I'm gonna
unless the only caveat to that is if you get someone in like the top half of the first round of the draft, basically.
A stud.
Witherspoon could be looking for a payout. He made $4 million this year.
Right.
Yeah.
He may be in demand to be in that $12 to $15 million a year range, and he may be looking for that kind of a payout on the market.
Right.
So they're not going to sign both, is what I'm saying.
No.
If they're going to sign one, they're going to sign him. They're not going to sign Hayden.
Ryan, let me get your thoughts on that, and then I'm going to give you a follow-up too, and I'll let you lead off with once you give us your thoughts on Hayden and Witherspoon. We'll keep it on the defensive side of the ball and move to.
You're so defensive, Mark.
I'm very defensive right now because we're defensive. And then I'll ask you about Montrevius Adams as well. But what are your thoughts on Hayden?
Bring him back.
What? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Brian.
I tell the media guys this often. So close with the guys that cover the team, and usually once a year I'll text them and say, man, there's one player I wish I got to work with. It's Joe Haden. And he just seems like a nice dude, a good teammate. A dude, I mean, that guy got like swag. He's got the best. He's always best dressed. Like, he just seems like a really good guy. And I lead that with those comments because I think that he has declined the past couple years, and it's just listen, when you get when you get older, you're not as fast. I mean, it's the truth. You're not as fast. He is smart. He's cerebral. He knows the defense. There's no doubt. I'm never going to blame a blown coverage or this and that on Joe Haden, because I know he knows what he's doing. I just think that the older you get, especially when you're a corner, you just can't do it anymore. And I'm not saying he can't do it anymore. I'm saying that he might not be able to do it anymore at the price the Steelers think he can. And I think that that's okay. I think that there's no hard feelings, and I think he might want to maybe go to a team that is in better position to contend. And I don't think you should break the bank for him. That being said, I do think Witherspoon has shown a lot in his limited playing time, which could also mean other teams might want to sign him.
Yeah.
You don't want a situation where you lose both, but I could actually see a situation where they do lose both. And this team does not have a good history of drafting cornerbacks. And as Ian alluded to earlier, not many teams do unless you have sort of an absolute stud. But I would take Witherspoon over Hayden, but my fear is that they are not going to be able to sign either one.
Yeah. I think
they've got the cap space. They can sign.
They do.
They can sign whoever they want to whatever they want. It's just a question of how they value the position.
But also, this is the fair question. They haven't had this much cap space in how long?
Forever.
Okay.
Ever.
So, in this,
and I think they're going to have more. I think they're going to be guys that are going to get cut.
And this will be,
and there will be even more space because There are guys like Schobert and Banner who just aren't worth these contracts, and it's going to create cap space as a result.
Agreed.
And good guys.
Agreed.
I mean, everybody likes Zach Banner. I like Zach Banner. But as a player, is he worth $5 million next year?
My question is, since they have actual money now, and the Steelers always say, hey, listen, we want to keep our own guys.
Sure.
But this is a year where they don't necessarily have to do that. So do they actually go out and make a splash in free agency? Like the Minka trade was an anomaly.
Sure.
I'm still stunned they signed T.J. Watt to that. I really am. Not that T.J. Watt's incredible.
I'm stunned that they guaranteed that much cash.
Yes.
That much. Yeah.
So
the total value of the contract, that I expected. The guarantee, holy shit.
The wheels are in motion that they're going to change their MO.
Yeah.
So do they actually go out and find a free agent corner?
No, I don't think they do. I don't think they spend big money on free agency again, because when you look at it historically, spending big on free agency does not net you anything. The Dallases and the Washington Redskins and the Jacksonville Jaguars who spend money in free agency, what do they have to show for it? I think they're going to build slowly. They're going to continue what they've done over the years. They're going to spend wisely in free agency. When they signed Steven Nelson, they signed him before free agency began. I thought they overpaid, but his first year, he was fantastic.
Really good.
He was great.
Maybe I should say, are they going to be more aggressive?
Maybe, but
That's fair.
Maybe they'll sign more guys, but I don't think they're gonna sign any mega contracts. Like, they're not going to go out and sign a Bud Dupree, like the deal he got with the Titans last year.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, Bud didn't do a whole lot. He just didn't.
Banged up. Yep.
That's not going to happen. They're not going to be that team. They're going to try and prioritize their own guys. If they see somebody out in the market they really like, they'll go after him. But are they really going to are they going to outbid the competition to bring the guy in? I don't think so.
One thing that's worth noting on that, though, one area where the Steelers have done really well in the past, and to their credit, as much as they suck, the Ravens have too, is they specifically target guys that get cut by other teams, so it doesn't count against their comp pick formula. So, and I'll say the general you, when you are out there, not the four of you on this call, but
when one is out there,
looking at the Spot Track or Over the Cap or whatever, and looking at, potential free agent lists, honestly, don't look at those guys, because the Steelers probably aren't going to sign guys that are pending free agents. They're going to look at guys that get cut by other teams, but then don't count against their comp pick formula. So look at guys that have 1 or 2 years.
They signed Steven Nelson and they signed Jeff Hardings back in the day. That to me still is the biggest contract Colbert ever signed, because that was a guy coming out and he was signed at the top of the market at the time to play center, which is a position that was brand new to him. And I don't know if you guys recall this, but initially the transition to center was not a smooth one. Cowher was pissed. Yeah. They could not master the simple transfer of the ball from the center to the quarterback. The center quarterback exchange was not going very smoothly, and Bill Cowher was fucking angry.
The chin was jutting.
I mentioned that shit, and the spit was probably flying, and the swear words, and remember those days? God damn, that was great. It was so entertaining.
Quick reminder, we are brought to you by DEK Roofing of South Florida. DEK serves Broward and the Palm Beach counties, whether it's commercial, industrial, residential, multifamily, or condos. Contact DEK Roofing today by visiting dekroofing.com. And I want to send out my very best to everybody down in Florida right now. I believe it's gotten into like the 40s at night. The iguanas are falling from the trees. Those poor people. It's like
it's raining iguanas
down there. Yeah. So to my family down there, best wishes to all of you. And they send those pictures. They're all bundled up in their stocking caps and ski coats, and it's 55 degrees. I'm out snow blowing at 0. Anyway, hey,
55. I'm outside in shorts and a t-shirt.
You ain't kidding, my man. You ain't kidding. Staying on the defensive side of the ball, Montrevius Adams, a real bright spot. We plucked him from the New Orleans practice squad.
Practice squad.
Yeah, I mean the only, I'll just say this real quick in terms of you guys. The only real issue I saw with him from time to time is he almost was too quick for his own good and would penetrate upfield too far. But that's something that I can work with. Everything else I loved about the guy.
Every once in a while, he tried to judge the cadence, and he got a couple or three offsides penalties. That happens.
Right.
He was, for a nose tackle, really good at running laterally down the line of scrimmage on those outside zone plays.
Yes.
It reminded you of Casey Hampton, didn't it? It did me. I mean, seriously.
Do you remember the one time, I think it was against New England, that they dropped Casey Hampton into coverage? They dropped him into a zone.
He was in the flat.
Yeah.
Wasn't he laughing at the end of the play? If I remember, you could see on the footage, he was like laughing, or somebody made a comment to him and he started laughing.
Yeah, but I can remember him running down an outside stretch himself. The nose tackle at 330 pounds or whatever the hell he weighed.
330 is generous, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, so he was 325 as a rook, all right? He's only 6 feet tall.
I'm pretty sure he didn't step on a scale for a long time. He was quick Casey Hampton story, and I might have told this, but Casey Hampton, he was there a couple years. I got to work with him. He was the best. I remember that the media was just asking him questions one day because Ziggy Hood was in his second or third year or whatever, and Ziggy Hood was built. I mean, like he just always in the weight room, whatever. And I remember that the media guys asked Casey, like, pretty much like, why don't you work out like Ziggy Hood? He goes, man, he's weight room strong. I'm grown ass man strong. And like, I wish I could get the video, and I could maybe dig that up, but that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard of all time. And like, he had no shirt on when he did it, and my guy was probably pushing 350 and change.
Yeah,
and I'm grown ass man strong. I tweet that occasionally.
At 6 feet nothing, 350 pounds. Holy shit!
To Adam, to getting back to Adams, that that's a great find, and that's a testament and kudos to the Steelers player personnel department for finding that. And a guy like Mike Hilton was in a similar situation. He was on the New England Patriots practice squad, and I'm going to say this: if Bill Belichick thinks you're decent enough to hang around, whether that's practice squad or not, to me, like you find a guy like Mike Hilton who in good luck to Mike. He was a nice dude. I think he's a great player. I wish the Steelers would have somehow. And I don't get on me. Every fan says, I wish the Steelers would have did this and that.
I wish they would have signed them both. I agree.
But I mean, I wish they would have gotten him. But Adams, absolute re-sign. You have this draft is deep on the D line, is so I've been told, or what I've read. But I do think that's a guy you need to keep around. They got some young talent on the line, and we don't know what's going to happen with Tuitt. We don't know if Alu is going to be back. I know we think he's going to be back, but is he going to be 100%? Yeah. So I think that Adams is a guy you got to keep.
Let me we're going to do kind of a lightning round the rest of this defense, because there's not really any like high level guys here other than Derek Tuska, who I know Ben loves.
Fucking let him walk.
Ian, what do you think about Wormley?
I think he's
got a year left. Just
he's not a starter, but he's capable enough as a backup. He got forced into a starting role.
He's good against the pass.
Yeah, he got forced into a starting role last year. I mean, Tuitt's situation is the biggest question mark on this team outside of quarterback. They have to figure out what's going on there. If he's not back, I mean, I think Loudermilk showed enough that he does. What's that?
Doesn't sound like he's going to be. No one seems to know what the hell is going on.
Yeah,
let's put it this way. What I've heard is he's not committing.
Yeah.
My understanding is he's in South Bend and has been for several months. He's actually back in school. So,
which, if that's what he wants to do, if that's what he feels is best for his family and for him, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let me get back
at
on
any rate, where I was
Go
going
ahead.
was I think Loudermilk showed enough that he deserves more snaps, but I don't know if he's a starter either. But we have to figure something out in addition to Cam Hayward. Like, you can't have just Cam on the defensive line. So I feel like we've got a lot of bodies there that
need at least a Travis Kershke in there.
Yeah.
Loudermilk
and Kershke is a good example. But yeah, I think you got to find
better.
You got to find something else in addition to Cam. You got to get Cam some help in the up front there. Wormley's a backup. Adams is a good piece for 20 snaps a game, 25 snaps a game, but he's not an every down player. Loudermilk showed something, but not an every down player. Right. So you gotta find 40 more snaps a game, basically, right? Because Wormley can probably give you 20, Loudermilk can give you 20, Adams can give you 20, but Hayward's out there playing 60 to 80. So you got to find another 40 to 60 snaps per game somewhere.
Okay. Let me stay with our unrestricted free agent guys here.
Taco.
Yeah, let's go to Taco. Ryan, what did you see out of Taco this year? Did you see enough to, maybe make him an offer, or have you kind of said, so long?
Yeah, I bet you the Dallas Cowboys are kicking themselves still for taking Taco instead of
They took him just ahead of somebody else, didn't they?
There was that guy
there
from
was
Wisconsin.
a Watt guy
What's his name?
or something?
He's pretty good. I always say this, and I might take heat for this, but like, you don't ask you don't ask to be drafted at a certain spot, and it sucks because it's unfair, because it's like, especially if you're a first rounder, some team might take a flyer on you, and some team, but like TJ Watt lasted till 30. Yeah. 30.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're a lot of teams are like, hindsight, probably should have taken this guy. So, you don't
Cleveland
ask
Browns included. What did they take after that other guy at number 5? What was his name?
Number 1. They took him number 1.
Wait, no. Garrett was number 1?
Yeah, Garrett was number 1.
Garrett was number 1.
God.
Listen here. Okay, they play 2 different positions. Myles Garrett is a really good football player, and TJ
is really good.
A really good football player too. And you know what? I'd be happy to have either one of them on my team.
I don't know. Myles Garrett's kind of a fucking asshole, so I'm going to go with no.
Okay, fine. I'm going to, listen. All right, whatever.
Send you to the ranks.
Getting back to Taco, okay? I mean, listen, competition's a good thing. If he's not, if he's not asking for too much, why not bring him in? I don't have a problem with it. I'm not saying they need to or have to, but again, that Tuitt situation, I'm not sure. And again, I want to say this: Stephon Tuitt, very good very bright young man, nice guy. I feel terrible about what happened. I don't know what he's going through. But that's an example where it's more than football. So, if you want to tweet some angry stuff at Steel Dad or send hate mail to Steel Dad or whatever, it's not.
Yes,
it all coming.
It's more than football. But a guy like Taco, I think that if you can get him they have the money if they want to keep their own guys. Competition's a good thing. Keep them,
and let's be honest,
for at least. Camp, whatever.
If he has a nice year, it makes a hell of a T-shirt. I mean, we can do something with Taco. I
suppose, but we need the depth. And honestly, he was our best. He was our best.
He did a nice job.
Backup outside linebacker. Well, that wasn't named Ingram, but that guy left because I want more playing time. Thank you guys. I'm out of here.
Tipped a lot of passes.
Taco.
He was a lot
Taco
bigger
did
than
a
I
respectable
expected him
job.
to be.
He wasn't great. But for a guy who came in on the practice squad and basically auditioned for playing time, I thought he was okay. I really did. He's not a first rounder, but so what?
Let me, Ian. I'll throw this one to you. Marcus Allen, unrestricted free agent this year.
I think he's a restricted free agent.
Fucking leave.
I think he's an
RFA. He's restricted.
Oh, I'm sorry. He is. My color blindness not working.
Yeah.
He should absolutely sign that tender, by the way.
Immediately.
If they offered him.
Right.
I would I mean, we absolutely need a starter caliber player at inside linebacker. I think they're going to let Devin Bush come back for his 4th year, but I don't think they're going to sign him to his 5th-year option. I think they're going to let him play this year, see if
Please, baby Jesus.
see if he kind of do the Terrell Edmonds thing, right? If his play improves, then okay, maybe we'll sign you long term. If not, then okay, see ya. Cut your losses, right? It's how do we describe it? It's it's cutting your losses at that point.
I agree.
It's acknowledging this didn't work out.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think of the inside linebackers, I think Schobert they cut and save $7 million in cap space. I think if you're going to give an RFA tender, you bring back Spillane and let Allen go.
He is the RFA. Yeah.
Yeah. Allen and Spillane are both RFAs, I think.
Yes.
So I think you bring back Spillane on an RFA tender. You let Allen go. Ulysses Gilbert, now that he actually got on the field, actually looked decent at the end of last year.
Can he stay healthy?
That's a good question.
He's got 1 year left.
Buddy Johnson, similarly, can he stay healthy? Because he was hurt a lot of last year. And then when he actually was going to get a helmet, caught COVID at the end of the year, which was unfortunate for him. So, but they spent, a 4th or 5th round pick on Buddy? 4th round pick on Buddy Johnson last year, I think. No, 5th.
Yeah.
Because Dan Moore was the 4th. But yeah, so at any rate, I think they have depth there. They just need a starter caliber player.
Yeah, it's got to get better.
Yeah, you need a starter, but you have depth. So,
but I mean, they traded up to 10 to take Devin Bush, which is why he's so disappointing. They don't, and how? What are you supposed to do there? I mean, honestly, start over.
And part of it was, I mean, Bush,
take that guy in the 1st round.
Bush pre-ACL was what we thought he was going to be when we traded him up to 10. It was after he tore his ACL, he never got back to what he was before.
Yeah. No. And maybe they're hoping that he can. I agree with you. Maybe they're hoping that he can this year, and they're going to go, you know what? We're going to let you play your 4th year, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Let me get these last 2 unrestricted free agents defense, Arthur Mollett and Miles Killebrew.
Yes.
I think they're both no-brainers. Yeah. Are we all in agreement on that? I think we are.
I don't know. I mean, I think Mollett was okay, but he was.
I think that can be upgraded, but I think
I think you still need to draft another corner to play. To play the field. Spot. You need to draft another field corner.
You need a slot corner is what you need.
I agree. You need to draft another slot corner, in my opinion. A guy who can play inside and tackles well and can cover, ideally. Perfect world. Yeah, that guy. But Mollett does a good job on 3rd down. Let's put it that way. And you need that guy. You need that guy. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, just real
Trey
quick,
Norwood
guys.
was pretty good in coverage, so I mean, I think you can use him a little bit too.
Yeah.
Trey, but he's a free safety. He's not.
Yeah, he's a free safety, but I think you could use him in the slot if you had to. So, I don't know. Mollett, Killebrew, I mean, they have some value on special teams, but I didn't think they brought a whole lot to the defense.
Ryan went to pee.
Yeah, he may have a little potty break. Hey, let me remind everybody that as part of the Pigskin Podcast,
he's gonna love that when he watches this later.
Network, in the middle of a promo, man. Don't forget, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code TPPN. That is T, P as in Paul, P as in Paul, N. And get 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 and get $280 in free bets if your team wins.
TPPN.
That's promo code TPPN.
Damn, dude, that was quick.
Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56.
Needed a refill.
56-1. You needed a refill? I thought you went to piss. All right. I was totally off base there.
This is
completely wrong.
Don't we all have like potty things underneath?
We were laying odds. Ryan went to piss.
Rookie mistake.
Ryan went to get a drink. It's not one of the selections. God damn it.
Rookie mistake. I need 2 backups next time we do this.
Well, the funny thing
is, do is have the bottle right here next to you, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Listen,
Just
man.
pour another one.
Experience.
Listen, man.
It's all experience.
That's part of the Steel City Blitz podcast.
That's right. What the hell would we be without some fun once in a while?
Sometimes Steel Dad lets us have fun.
Oh,
Not always. Sometimes
No,
he gets
no.
really mad
A
when we
very
make fun of
rigid
people
business.
who are part of the Sunshine Crew on Twitter and write hate mail to Steel Dad.
Boy, I haven't gotten one of those fun DMs in quite a while, I must
It's
say.
actually pretty funny when it happens.
Yeah.
I literally asked him, and this is a true story. Let's just go ahead and put this out there.
Sure.
Like, hey, Mark, I'm really sorry this happened, but I know it's really hard to tell when you're just reading something, the words that someone wrote, but do you think he was crying when he wrote it?
Do I think he was?
Yeah, I asked you that then. You were not happy. Actually, you were fucking pissed.
Well, a few whiskeys now. There might have been some misty eyes.
I really hope there were some tears that were shed as they were typing out that DM to Steel Dad about what a prick I am. I literally don't care. I laughed myself to sleep that night.
Isn't that every night for you?
No, but
like
that
this
night,
Joker.
certainly.
So someone took the time to mail
Send multiple DMs to him about what a dick I am. I was like, that's why my bio says send hate mail to Steel Dad.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, I know the bio says it. I know the bio says it. I actually referenced that earlier. I just didn't know where it came from.
Oh, it's all true. It's all true. Yeah.
It's like, really? Do you think he was crying?
Now, do we want to talk, because we're already running quite late, do we want to just...
No, we're not. It's only an hour. We're fine.
Well, people lose interest in an hour.
You mean people aren't interested in talking about Trey Turner?
I am. Right.
I am too.
All right,
we
then
really have
let's
to do offense next time, though. I agree with Mark. It's gone too long.
Yeah. So do we want to jump to offense, or do we just want to wrap up the whole defense?
Let's wrap the defense.
All right. Let's.
Is there anybody else? Derek Tuska?
Well,
Fuck him. He should
Miles
go.
Killebrew.
Miles Killebrew. Bring him back.
We mentioned him on your
I'm
potty break.
sorry. It was Killebrew and Millette. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what about the wonderful Mr. Hank Mondu? He's got 1 year left. He's got 1 year left.
Year left.
So I mean, he's definitely coming back. I thought he did better this year than he did last year, but I still don't see enough that makes me say I've got to have that guy.
He's a warm body.
Oh, damn, that is true. Yeah. Let me see here. Who else?
Mondu would be fine if it was like the sixth defensive lineman.
Right.
Maybe.
To be honest with you guys, that's really it. The only other guy is Christmas. He's an exclusive rights free agent.
He's coming back.
Yeah, he'll be back as
to the practice squad.
DRFA. So yeah, what the hell? Let's go over to the offense.
All right.
Ooh.
Now we're in.
Let's start with
Trey Turner.
No.
Trey Turner and Chooks.
JuJu.
JuJu. Yeah.
Ryan, what do you think, JuJu? You think he's gone? You think he's back?
What do the kids say? He gone? I don't know. I would say so. I'm going to say this and whatever.
Yeah.
I never had a problem with JuJu.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that he danced on the logo for the TikToks and the Jackson Mahomes-esque behavior.
I'm with you.
For sure.
But I will say this. JuJu is not soft. Okay? That dude.
Oh, hell no.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I felt that hit that he took in that Denver Broncos game that broke his shoulder or whatever.
It was right in front of us.
And then he came back and listen, he literally had no reason to come back. And to be fair, they had no chance against the Chiefs.
Nah.
So for him to do that, he either wanted to just go out one last time with Ben and his teammates. So credit to JuJu.
Yep.
But he said yesterday, and I laughed about it. He talked about the Steelers basically having a facility that's not up to par with Jerry World and I understand that. I also think too that he's at a point in his career where even though he does good off the field when it comes to marketing, I think he's at that point of his career where he wants to get some guaranteed cash and play for a contender.
Is
I don't
Dallas a
know.
contender?
I doubt that. I doubt that's the Cowboys.
Are you
Sorry.
saying, Ryan, that he would not want to come back to catch balls from Mason Rudolph? Or
There's
Dwayne
the other thing
Haskins
too,
or-
and
Yeah.
I am a Mason Rudolph supporter. Send hate mail to me. But I think that
Tomorrow.
actually,
for
though,
sure.
to be fair, his longest reception in the last like 4 years came against the 49ers from Mason Rudolph on a crossing pattern. Just saying. But but anyway, I think sorry. Well, you'll get to hate me. But yeah, I think JuJu is gone, and I wish him well. He's done a ton for the community. I just don't think that this is the right fit for him anymore. And he might come back, and if he does, great. But I see a lot of brighter prospects on his horizon than here.
Ian, what do you think about JuJu?
Yeah, I think JuJu's gone. I think James Washington's gone. Surprisingly, I cannot believe that these words are coming out of my mouth, but I would not hate it if they brought Ray McLeod back. He was
McLeod,
better.
agent?
No.
Yeah,
He is.
He was especially down the stretch.
No, he is
better than I ever expected him to be. So I think for a fourth or fifth wide receiver, you could do worse than Ray McLeod.
Yes,
Now
as long as he's not your starter in the slot, I agree. But if he's your starter in the slot, I'm not really a fan.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. If he's your return man and your fourth wide receiver, okay, or fifth, he's your second guy inside because he only plays slot.
Yeah,
fine. Yeah. I'm good with it. Then bring him back. As far as JuJu goes, okay, thanks, bye. I mean, I don't know what else to say. He has been great, but I don't see a lot of desire from him based upon his recent statements to stay.
Right.
His attitude changed pretty quick, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, he realizes they're rebuilding, and he's like, I'm going to get paid and get the fuck out.
And I don't blame him.
No.
Agreed.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, and I've said this before on the show that, I mean, the kid grew up sleeping on the floor of his garage. Right. Like, I'm never going to hold it against him to try and make as much money as he can.
Exactly. And this is his one shot, probably, at the mega contract, at the big contract. So he is going to look to get paid as much as he can.
His careers are not long, man.
Wherever he can and move on. I mean, and I get it. It is what it is. I understand. But Dallas? Are you fucking kidding me? No. Sorry.
But and the other thing too is that I think we talked about this last year before free agency. We were talking about JuJu, that not only are these guys competing against each other for wide receiver contracts, they're also competing against the current draft class, because you can draft a wide receiver in the 5th, 6th, 7th round that has some talent coming out of college. Now that these colleges are running these pass happy offenses, that the guys coming out are a lot more talented and a lot cheaper than signing someone on the free agent market. So the market for wide receivers is kind of weird in free agency, that
for sure
you've got the top of the market guys, but after that, the middle and lower tier guys are kind of also competing against the draft class for roster spots.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we're kind of all in agreement. Washington and JuJu both going to be gone.
Washington, 100%. JuJu, probably.
Ryan,
if Mason is the guy and you're going with Mason, re-sign James Washington.
Why?
Like that college connection?
He led the team in receiving yards in 2019 with Duck and Mason.
Interesting.
Why not re-sign him if he's willing? Maybe he just never. Maybe he just
to play for $7 or $8 million a year, or what?
So here's the thing. I didn't work with James Washington.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about James Washington.
Right. Good guy by all accounts.
Yes,
hard worker.
I just find it odd that he led the Steelers in receiving yards in 2019 with Mason and Duck, but for some reason has never been able to either connect with Ben or connect with whomever. But I mean, that was a pretty nice play he made against the Chiefs. I know it might have been in garbage time, but
being really honest, blunt, actually.
Here we go.
Mason and Duck were two quarterbacks, maybe are two quarterbacks, that need to throw to open receivers. Those are guys that don't throw to a spot. Ben throws to a spot, which is why they could not connect. They weren't on the same page.
So if James Washington says, "Hey, I actually do like it here," and I'd resign. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to give him a long-term deal.
I think it's all price at that point.
Yeah, whatever.
Sure.
I mean, those conversations have to be fluid, right? Like it's
Yeah.
So like, but I do like, especially if you lose JuJu, you got to keep some sort of rapport or camaraderie there. You can't. I mean, you got Chase and Deontay. I understand that. Maybe Ray. I don't know. I mean, Ray balled out the end of the year. Not gonna lie, he took some amazing hits.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm over that experiment. I'm sorry.
Really?
I mean, I'm not saying he can't be. I'm not saying he can't be a 5, but like you better
I would
make
say
sure.
a 4 or a 5 in a return man. Yes, don't you? I mean, what do you think?
I'm
He
not saying,
scares the shit out of me as a return.
but that's
man.
what I'm saying. Like if you want to do that, that's fine. But you're 3 and 4, and I hate to because this is a cliche, but like I need a guy that's fast AF or oh shit speed. Like I need somebody that can run and pose a vertical threat because their vertical passing game the past 2 years or maybe year and a half has been non-existent.
Yeah, I'd like to see a guy who can do that. I agree with you, but that guy usually plays on the outside. He's not a guy who plays in the slot.
Well, and I think that's part of it with Washington too. That I mean, if you have Deontay and Claypool as your starters outside, what's the incentive for Washington to come back? Because he's not going to play starter time, right? He's almost better off going to a terrible team like, say, the Jets, where he can get more snaps and put more stuff on tape, sign a 1-year deal with them, put some stuff on tape, and try and cash in after that, rather than just sitting on the bench behind Deontay and Claypool. I mean, if you're going to bring James Washington back at that point, do you start to talk about, like, what can we get for Chase Claypool on the trade market? I mean, just throwing it out there, but,
why can't Chase play inside?
I don't think Chase has the maneuverability to play inside.
Well,
I think
he's shown me he doesn't have
has.
the maneuverability to play on the outside.
that's fair.
Chase has played inside in four receiver sets. He has, but he's not really he runs like 3 routes, honestly.
Do we know what his surgery was, by the way?
It
was clearly on his
it
right
was
arm,
on his
but
right arm, right wrist, it looked like.
Right.
No, nobody seems to be talking about it, and I've tried to find out, and nobody will tell me.
Same.
So, no.
Scoop.
Yeah. Scoop.
Ryan, what the fuck? Why don't you know?
That ship has sailed. It's been
They
like
shut him
5
off, man. They closed off the faucet.
That's bullshit.
Well, let's go to the O-line, Mr. Trey Turner and Mr. Chukwuefor from that football metropolis.
Fuck those guys.
Let them both go.
I think it's a no-brainer. Trey Turner, thank you for your service. He's gone.
Please go.
I don't even know if I would thank him for his service. I mean, he just stood there and let guys run.
I would pack his shit for him and be like, hey, it's been great. You need to go. Thanks.
The shame of it is he was a damn good player for a while. And he just
he isn't anymore.
No. Okay, so what do you do with the core for?
Same
Ben,
thing.
I'll give it to you. I don't think it's that easy with him. I agree, but I don't think it's that easy.
He's 25. He's been here for 4 years. He's not good. It is what it is. I mean, at best, he's a swing tackle who can play both positions. There's some value in that, but he's not good at either one of them.
You got to field a team. You know that, right? Like,
yeah, I do know. But, I mean, Chooks
I'm just being a dick. I'm just saying.
It's fine.
That's what we do here.
I am just saying Joe Haden is probably a better swing tackle, and he sucks, than Chukwuefor.
I mean, here's the thing with Okorafor, real quick. Out of 46 games in his career, he started 35.
That's a stat?
It's a stat that it's unbelievable to me that he has started. I mean, somebody's going to pay him. I think somebody's going to pay him on the open market.
I really hope that somebody like the Baltimore Ravens pays him.
That he'd be perfect across from Al.
I think he would be. I think he'd be fantastic, but Al's going to get cut. So
right. I'm just saying that, as badly as we've talked about the guy, I mean, the fact that he's got all these starts is pretty incredible.
You're right. The Ravens really should sign him.
Well, it's trying to slip that in there. So we're kind of in agreement. We think we'd like to get rid of him, but we're at least willing to admit that they may hang on to a core four. Are we saying that?
Please don't. But yeah, maybe.
Okay, Ryan.
I do agree. Letting Chooks explore the market, but I would try to re-sign Trey Turner if you can.
Really,
you need. This isn't going to be popular, but who's the most experienced player on offense now that Ben's gone?
Nobody. But they need to get younger anyway. Their offense is terrible.
Okay. So another unrestricted free agent is BJ Finney, and don't you ever say a damn bad word about Benjamin Isaac Finney IV. But I joke, but you're not going to resign BJ Finney. He was around. He didn't play.
Finney, rumor has it Finney's going to retire.
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay, and good for him. So you're not going to keep Chooks or Finney. Again, I joke about fielding a team, but are you going to be able to get?
I'm not joking. You're right.
Are you going to be able to get that sort of, I don't even know. Are you going to be able to get enough out of free agency in the draft to solidify that line, which makes me even more scared to take a quarterback at 20?
I agree.
You're absolutely right, Ryan.
That's why I
behind
say,
the line and let him get beat up for a year and, probably win 8 games or 7 or
look.
something.
They are going to be in the same position they were this year. They are going to be using another line that is put together with glue and Band-Aids.
Come on.
Nah.
They can get better along the line.
I think they will get better, but they're going to have guys they've got to get together because they're going to have guys that have never played with each other. And with only the 3 preseason games.
I think Trey Turner, you got to re-sign Trey Turner.
No.
That's just me.
That's going to be fascinating.
That guy
sucks.
It here
first.
That guy was so bad in pass pro. Oh my fucking God! There were times he let people run by him inside. He was like,
"Well, I mean, so here's the thing.
All right, if people are listening to this show and not watching the video of it, go to YouTube and watch the video.
You really need to watch
it because you'll not get the full experience.
Right.
Because I mean, Kendrick Green. They drafted him to play center, and he can't play center. So
no, he can't. Actually, they should move Kendrick Green to guard and draft another center, in my opinion. But they should do that with their first round pick. But
But who's to say that Kendrick Green can play guard? I know he played guard in college, but who knows? I don't know.
There's a whole different set of hand usage techniques when you play center, and yes, young players get better as they play and over time, but Kendrick Green did not get better. Kendrick Green was benched when healthy at the end of the year for J.C. Hassenauer, who is not good.
Hassensaucer is real good. Okay,
sure, whatever.
He's got one of those names that Yinzers can't say, doesn't he?
Kendrick Green though has fire, but I don't know if that really.
They're going to put some weight on him, I think, and make him a guard. Point. Be my guess.
Yeah. The one other thing I'll say though is with offensive linemen, you can get guys in free agency or via trade that aren't all that expensive, right? Like you're not necessarily talking to guys that you have to pay north of $10 million a year. You can find guys much cheaper than that on the offensive line. I mean, heck, you want to talk about a solution?
Going with this, we're going to keep doing the whole offense because if so, I need to go to the fridge and get some beer.
We only have a few more, so you might as well relax there a minute.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just saying that you can.
Now I got to piss. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You can find guys on offense
fitting in
for cheaper. There've been teams that have made moves for guys.
Ian, the floor is yours.
Was that the whole exchange? What the fuck was that?
Ian,
sorry, Ian. That we just ruined your whole segment. I apologize.
Sorry, Ian.
That's fine. That's fine. But no, I guess, where I was going with it was like, the Browns, the Titans, arguably the two best offensive lines in the league, like they went out and got guys in either trade or free agency that weren't super expensive, but and some of them were.
Signed some super expensive players.
They did, but they also had a quarterback on a rookie contract, which is the greatest market equalizer in the game.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
So, in theory,
they should sign that guy to a $50 million a year contract.
Though,
they definitely should. Oh yeah.
All fully guaranteed. 5 years.
Let me reel in this goat rodeo here for a minute. Zach Banner. I mean, the guy played all of 4 snaps on offense, making what, $4 or $5 million a year.
Yeah, it was $1 million a snap.
I mean, again, I think all of us love this guy.
Yeah,
he's
as a person, absolutely.
Human being, but clearly the team is not seeing what they need to see out of him as a player. So, I mean, they've got him for 1 more year, but it's pretty cheap, is my understanding, to get out of that deal, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then the same thing. What do you do with John LeGlue? I look at John LeGlue. I don't really see a starting guard in the NFL, but the guy played his ass off.
LeGlue's a free agent.
1 year left. 1 year.
Yeah, I was going to say no.
Yeah.
You do nothing. You bring him back.
Right, yeah. But I'm just kind of looking down these lists here, and Haig's got a year left, and we talked briefly about Finney, but
if Haig and LeGlue are your 6th and 7th linemen, you can do a lot worse than that.
Yeah,
they're okay in those roles. I would not count on them as starters, but as backups, that's okay.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's it. That's all we're talking about tonight.
Really?
That's it. Done. Over.
What about Benny Snell? Is he a free
agent?
Eric
Ebron?
Oh, you know what?
Eric Ebron's gone, isn't he?
Ebron's gone, yeah.
My printer cut off right at that spot. That's why I didn't mention those guys.
You printed it out? I sent you a screenshot. You have a computer.
I'm old school.
Eric Ebron is gone.
Notes right here. I scribbled notes down and stuff, man.
Really? Hassenauer's a free agent. He's exclusive rights, though, so he's coming back.
Yeah. Ebron is gone. Freiermuth will be number 1. Shockingly, Zach Gentry, I guess, is going to be number 2, and I'm not totally unhappy about that.
Right?
And
you're shocked? I am fucking shocked. I have sat on this show for what, 3 years going, this guy sucks. He's terrible. That was a horrible trade. I can't believe they picked that guy. What the fuck? Blah, 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 blah.
Connor Hayward.
Yeah, they're absolutely taking Connor Hayward. There's
him.
zero doubt in my mind we draft Connor Hayward in this draft. Like,
really? Give me 1,000 Cam Haywards at different skill positions. We'd be unstoppable.
Yeah. Gentry, by the way, is the largest human being I've ever seen. Holy shit.
Gentry is?
I couldn't believe how big he was. I when I was on the field with Hall of Famer Rick, I mean, he came right over in front of us.
If you look at their dimensions,
I'm telling you, when he's not even next to Banner, he doesn't look any smaller than Banner. I'm telling you right now, he's huge. He is huge. Ryan?
I mean, he wasn't even. I mean, he was.
College quarterback.
He was decent. I'm not saying like that's the other thing too, is like you look at this like, okay, if my starter goes down, do I feel comfortable being able to win a game with the next man up?
Yeah.
With Gentry, I don't know, but I would say that now I might be bringing some bad stuff with me right now.
Send hate mail to Steel Dad.
But with a different quarterback at the helm, perhaps they maybe go jumbo or something at some point where they use 3 tight ends. Because if you look around, I mean, okay, the Rams run 11 personnel pretty much all the time. I think that's the right personnel. It's been a long night. But the point is that, like, even the 49ers, Bengals, they do different things. The Rams do different things. Like, I think that and this is why I'm in a more hate mail coming this way, but that's why I'm interested to see. As much as I don't want to really like a young prospect to be with Matt Canada, I want to see what Matt Canada actually brings to the table. So that's why I'm fine with Rudolph for a year.
I know what you mean.
Just to
I know
see
exactly what you mean.
like shit.
But I mean, honestly, does Mason Rudolph fit Matt Canada's offense either?
I don't
Or
think he does,
is
but
Matt
he does
Canada's
more than Ben
offense
did.
is Matt Canada's offense just this gimmicky college offense that won't
It might
actually
be.
work anyway?
It might
So,
be. It might
why
be.
the fuck invest in it? I am just
It might be.
saying.
It might be. It might be. But I know that the Browns, the Steelers at the Browns 2020 season finale, Ben didn't play. The Steelers offense looked totally different than it did the previous weeks where teams caught on to the, 2 seconds
They can dunk.
throw. And that was Mason. And whether that was Randy, who was the coordinator at the time, or Matt Canada, the quarterback's coach, who knows?
Yeah.
I saw something in there. And if you give Mason a full off season to prepare for Matt Canada, I mean, oh my goodness.
Maybe he'll suck less.
Goodness. Oh my goodness. But oh my goodness gracious. At the 5-yard line, maybe they don't throw the ball 4 times. I mean, and listen, I love Ben, and Ben was great, but you can't tell me that Ben didn't have any say in any of that.
Oh, fuck yeah, he did.
Oh yeah.
Hell yes, he did.
Ben was like, I'm
Come
padding my
on.
stats. I'm keeping my touchdown streak alive.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. And I think that goes – or is that what you're saying, Ryan? Is that kind of goes out the window now? You got a little bit more of the coach calling it?
I think that okay, listen. Ben deserved that, right? No doubt. Okay, he's a Hall of Famer. I understand that. But I think when you have a younger quarterback that's more – you can mold and you can sort of coach and you can say, listen, I trust you to execute this play that I'm going to tell you to run. Okay. I mean, I don't see.
But how many times this year in the red zone did we see Ben walk off the field with throwing his hands up, going, "What the fuck do you want me to do?" That was bullshit.
Here's the thing. How many times in your career watching, in Ben's career, you watching him, has he not had a little bit of like, oh, I'm hurt, or I mean, and that's what I love about him. I love it. His arm falls off, and 3 days later he's
got a little Paul Pierce to him. I get it,
but that the same thing happened.
What I'm talking about is play calling, and some of the play calls were like, what the fuck was that?
We have no idea what play was actually called. We don't. We have no idea unless you're on that. Unless you got the signal, you don't know.
All right.
And anytime they got inside the 20 with Haley, with Fichtner, even you can go back to Arians, they always had problems.
No. In 2018 with Fichtner, they were the number 1 red zone in the NFL. They were fantastic.
Yes,
in 2019, they were the 32nd ranked red zone offense in the league. What changed? A guy tore all the tendons in his elbow in 2019.
Absolutely.
And Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges fucking came in to cover for him.
Right.
And the offense was shit. All right?
No, yeah. What I'm getting at is I'm not talking about that way. I'm saying that it seemed like whenever we get inside the 20, 25-yard line, it seemed like we always had an issue where we had to have a timeout. Now, many times we'd go down and score. Again, but I'm just saying,
going back to 2018,
like,
number 1.
Yeah.
If they got inside the 20, they were fucking deadly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
they were scoring that year.
Sorry?
Did they make the playoffs that year?
No. Did they?
No.
Yeah.
No. They didn't.
No.
That was that was the 9-7 year, or 9-6
9-6-1.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
didn't
we need
the Browns.
Defense was the issue. Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. All 3 phases have to play well. You can't just be great in one phase. You got to be good in all 3. You look at the 49ers. Their special teams had a really good run in the playoffs. They couldn't quite close it out, in the NFC Championship game, but your special teams matter. You know,
Mhm.
they really do. That's why you hire good coaches. That's why you put good players on those units. Miles Killebrew, you got to bring that guy back. You have to.
Agree. Well, we're completely off the rails, so we're going to get out of here
Well,
tonight.
speaking of Killebrew,
you,
Ben's
Mark.
done plenty of that tonight. So
That's why we drink water every show.
Go ahead and send all your hate mail. To
Yeah, that's
Steel
right.
Dad.
Send me your hate mail.
Hate mail to Steel Dad.
Contact SCB or SC
But
Blitz
please
at gmail.com.
Sprinkle some tears on
Yes.
the hate mail before you
Right.
send it.
We like the salty flavor.
We do, actually. It makes me laugh my ass off.
Anyway, I'll take the AFC in the Pro Bowl this week. I'm going to
Are
take
you
them
kidding
by
me?
by
Really?
7. Fuck, I don't know. Just don't get hurt.
Who
Steelers.
cares?
Please don't get hurt.
It's a glorified scrimmage. No
I
one
know
cares.
what it is.
Are you
but
really
I
going
still
to
don't want
watch?
anybody.
I'm not watching
Will
that
I
shit.
watch?
Nah, I
No.
don't watch that.
The
shit.
Pro Bowl's for kids. You know, hey, look, there's so and so. You know,
Remember
or
like 40
or
years ago when the Pro Bowl was good.
it's actually for quarterbacks to call out their idiot kickers.
that's
yeah.
true.
For.
Liquored up. You gotta liquored up.
Yeah.
our idiot kicker liquored up, said something dumb.
And on that note, you've been listening to the SCB Steelers Podcast presented by
Legendary,
DEK Roofing
fucking legendary
of
comment.
South Florida. And hey, go Steelers.
And hey, Ravens suck.